Yes, and here we are with two Jameses and one Gabriel and one Annika. Hello.
Hello, Annika.
Yeah, and I feel some fear because I have no idea where we're going with this conversation today. So I'm asking you, is there something alive in you that you want to share about? It's been happening since the last call or calls. I know you, James S., you've had some kind of training around permaculture. Is that correct? Or been a part
Uh,
of it?
yeah, about 3 weeks ago, we had a training called Growing Radicals. Radicals spelt Radicles, which is the root, the first piece of the plant root that puts its feelers down for water and nutrients.
Oh.
And that was something that I organized, and we had 30 people attend for 3 days learning about syntropic agroforestry. And yeah, what's alive for me is that since then I've been sitting with sitting with this the need to let go, to let go of that event, and to let go of this impulse to get going, do the next, and been reading a beautiful book called Sand Talk by an Aboriginal Australian, and that's been serving me really well to bring a different high context perspective, and to step out of this sort of narrow doing functioning thing, and at the same time I've been feeling an urge to what's next, and sitting with that, and something's bubbling up, and it's about how it's an impulse to draw people together again, to invite people together, and to explore what we can do to start to practically support each other in ways of growing food that are both serving of human well-being, human nourishment, and an ecological nourishment, and a sense that I've had, that I got yesterday, was that I let go of this idea of like one solution, one approach, and it was such a relief. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm in a rented house, and we haven't been given notice yet, but the owners are making plans to build on it and to demolish the house that's there, so we'll be gone within the year. And thinking, okay, well, I don't want to plant things there, but maybe I could start a nursery. That's my context. And a nursery that I can move. And that was okay. I came alive in that moment. It's like, that's my context, that's my piece of the puzzle, and how can I serve others? How can, like, so I've been inviting other people into a bigger circle of conversation to see, well, what's your context, what's your piece, and how can we work, how can we serve each other, how can we support each other in this journey. And that's, yeah, so I'm holding it lightly, and at the same time I can feel something a little bit tangible is starting to emerge, and I'm glad for that.
Thank you. I also have the Sand Talk book by Tyson Yunkaporta. I often listen to his podcast because there's a lot of very, let's say, radical and fresh views on things, which is very
yes, and some of it I let it wash over me because I couldn't quite grasp it, but some of it landed so strongly in me, and I can feel some sadness coming up in me now. It's like, wow, there's my culture has held me in this incredibly reductionist, break it down into its component parts sort of point of view, and it's like it's so I feel sad, but I feel glad to have an opening into like leaning into that relationship. It's all about relationships, that high context way of looking at the interconnectedness of it all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your goal. I still think there is a big theme or something to investigate into the integration for me in the context we're holding space for, in the Archan Permaculture context. Something about integration that I don't know what it is, but I want to research that. And the way we, like, as you said, like something like letting go, but also holding space. I think there is a misunderstanding in the common language about letting go, what it is, that it is about holding space, actually. But yeah, it could be like a space of emptiness, of nothingness, and that's also very important. And so for me, it's really an important time for harvesting and collecting what you've done. So I'm glad to hear that.
And there was another piece of gold which I got yesterday in a conversation with Justin and Greg, who were both at the Growing Radicals, and it was a conversation about community land trusts, and the conversation went into what's our relationship to land, and this idea that, like, this very Western idea of ownership of land. You know, we own land. We don't own land. Land owns us, and it's our job to listen to the land for what it wants, like in this place, in this context. And then there was this other piece that was so fresh, which was, and actually, yes, we need to listen to the land, but actually the land also listens to us. So it's not just a one-way thing. There is this possibility that as humans we have a role to play to bring our impulses to the land as well, and it goes both ways.
I think there was a similar distinction and that I learned in Tamara, the healing biotope in Portugal, where they build a huge retention landscape, and they used to say that to us if the land was knowing, like if we know the land, and if the land knows us, like in a similar way. It's like maybe what I get from that is like, do I know where are the animals? Where are some specific plants? Like, am I really connected to my land? Or yeah, something like that.
Sounds like building a relationship.
Yeah. And that's also part of what I've been visioning in the in the movie, like the movie with David Holmgren was the reading the landscape, with a similar distinction, similar flavor of yeah, being deeply connected to the land.
It's something I've not really thought about before, but as you guys are talking about this, I get this impression that in terms of the land knowing me and me knowing the land, that each connection that I make with land in terms of just in whatever way that, whatever shape that might take, knowing, getting to know a plant or a space or a habitat or something like that, every time that I'm sort of throwing out a connection, an energetic line of connection to get to know land better, every time that happens, the land's also getting to know me better. But it's inevitably a two-way thing, like a reciprocal thing.
Maybe, I don't know, I feel fear about, asking already the difficult question, but maybe we will circulate around, because there was a question the last time about the word design and how it has been used. So let me know. Maybe I'm skipping a step right now. I'm just moving too fast. I have fear to, yeah.
So what do you want, Gabriel? What is your question?
I think that the fear is still the same about each time we meet. I have a lot of fear when we meet in that space, because it's a space of creation, of recreation of what permaculture, the Archan Permaculture is. So there is one part that doesn't know what it is. In another way, it's like, oh yeah, it's unfolding, it's there. And for example, and I feel joy you are sharing what you've been doing, James, with growing radicals, because a similar thing is happening. I plan to do a bridge house, which is a bridge to a regenerative culture. And another proposal popped up, which is a meeting between possibility management and the dragon dreaming practices, which is a practice to actually set holistic projects, to help people build holistic projects, integrated projects. And then, yeah, the same happened with these two, meeting of the two. Like, what will it give to people? What bridges will be, what other connection will be done with that encounter? And how this like this tool for the permaculture for people, like could be more accessible. I don't have the word right now, like how this practices could be more accessible. Yeah. I'm more working on the bridges right now. Like, what are the bridges to make to actually come back to this radically be myself, or people be radically their selves. It sounds arrogant maybe when I say that. But what are the space where as humans, we come together to be more natural ourselves, like out from the culture you depicted, James, about this separation, this segregation, like, yeah. So yeah, I don't have a precise question right now. I'm just standing with a big fear.
What is the fear, Gabrielle? And yeah, let it come land, because I feel like what you're describing is not it's way up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the sense that it's, yeah, that's not it. What's it really about?
And yeah, stay in connection with us. And what is alive in your, what's alive in your life? What's alive in you right now? What's not in the future?
Yeah, thank you. What is alive right now is a game that I'm building with my partner. It's a game about, and we used it a different way today. It's a card game with different words on it, different questions. Like, for example, what is really important right now? And if you would be really honest with your life, what would you change? Things like that. So it looks like a pretty nice social game, and I would say an intimacy game. But the questions are really precise and directed towards the heart, the connection. And that's what I did today. We went to a beautiful natural space. We used those cards to ask people who wanted to play that game to actually go with this question in the nature and come back each time. And yeah, I want to create more simple ways of connecting people to their hearts and to really what I feel, what the other feel. And it's what I did today. I'm still feeling fear. I want to give time for that fear to rise up fully. I think I'm getting closer, but still there is like going in my head.
I have the impulse to jump in here because I can feel like I've got something that can tie this in. It's something that's been up for me lately. Is this? I wrote a poem recently about this. It's about the question. Like, I get sometimes, like when I listen, I get this sense that the universe is asking the same question over and over and over and over again every moment. And it's this question: who are you? And I'm constantly replying to that question, whether I'm ready for it, whether I'm in my emotions or in my reactivity or in the peak of my creative force. It doesn't matter. I'm constantly replying to that question, and my reply is what it is what I'm creating. So my answer to the universe's question, which is who are you, is whatever it is I'm creating at that moment. and that's like the fundamental sort of gift and curse of humans, that we are creators for better or worse, and that this is what you're creating today, Gabriel, is this, you're creating intimacy in the mountains or whatever, wherever you were. And also this question you started with, this word design, is for me is this tiny subset of creation, and it's one possible way of creating, and there's just so many more. There's this infinite, like, and it's becoming less and less interesting to me as a way of creating. I just realize that it's so constrained, so much. It's such a product, like it's a tradable commodity. It's this thing that modern culture can understand, because you can charge by the hour, or you can charge by according to the qualifications of the person doing the designing, and then it can be handed over to an end user, or to an engineer, or to the council, or to all of the above. And it's this way that somehow modern culture has captured, like, the infinite possibilities of creation and wrapped them up in this little bundle called design, and puts it between everybody and whatever it is that they want to have happen in the world. They say, okay, if you've got a creative impulse, then you have to design it, and then in order to make it real. And so it's just like this crazy restrictive sort of sphincter that's been put on human creative impulse.
I feel
and
joy.
Part of it feeds into what you were saying too, James, about this reductionism stuff. Like, because part of the machine of the design is okay, what are we going to make with? We're going to make with parts. We're going to make with things. We're going to make. So the house is going to be made up of rooms. How many rooms do you want? How many toilets do you want? How many, so then the rooms become the units, the smashed apart parts that are just collected together, and we'll call it a house. And that's somehow like in the DNA of this idea of design. And it's infiltrated permaculture and everything. Like in permaculture, the typical way of talking about design is part focused. So in order to design, you have to smash whatever your thing is into parts, and then put the parts together in order to create a whole. And it goes against, I think, just goes against life.
Wow, what a distinction.
Yeah. So joy when you share that, and also sadness.
Yeah, so what's happening for you, James?
I can see how I do that. Like I got this impulse yesterday, and as I sat in the morning, and it was like, and one of the first things that I did was I got out my phone and I got my note-taking app, and I started to break it down. It's like, okay, who am I going to invite? Okay, what does this look like? Oh, what are the events? And it's like, oh shit, it's like that's exactly what I did. It was like I broke it down into its pieces instead of like just holding it, holding this tentative picture of what could be, and that initial impulse, for the initial impulses to connect with people. Like, leave it there, like make the step and invite people. It's thank you, James. Thank you for the clarity. Thank you for the reflection, because I can see that's what I've done my whole life. Like, I break it down into its pieces. Ah.
And yet, when you speak about things, James, you use this. You say you're holding it lightly, and when I imagine what it is you are holding, is you are holding the whole. Like when you use words
when
like
I hold
that,
it lightly, that's what I do. Yes.
Yeah. And
when
what
I hold
are you
it
holding?
lightly,
Yeah. And what are you holding when you hold it lightly?
An impulse, a vision, a possibility, a picture, something that isn't birthed yet, something that is still taking shape, and it's so precious. And I don't quite know what it looks like yet, but I can feel it and sense it, and like, yeah, wanting it to grow like a baby, like just holding it so lightly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I also want to say that when you like, I get the sense that when you're holding it lightly, it's like the lightness and the delicacy is in your hands, like the sensitivity is in your hands, and that there's also a field, like a field of fire or something around you that holds the space, like that's required for the delicacy and the sensitivity that's in the hands, that's doing the holding.
And then like, yes, and allowing the next impulse and the next impulse, and just, but patiently waiting, like holding it and letting the impulse arise, and then follow that, and that's where there's that, and there's fear in that, fear of that, of like, I don't quite know like how this goes, but being okay with that, and then letting the magic happen. It's I hadn't heard it before, but recently at the lab I heard this notion of fear being the magician's work. Like this is the place of magic, and it's like, yeah, that's where creation happens. It's the magician's work. Fear. Oh, I feel so glad for this conversation. It's something that I've been sensing, but not, and I'm bringing, and now, like, what I'm glad about is bringing the clarity, the distinctions into the space that I only felt ever so subtly.
And there are a lot of things about the fear, maybe in what you described, James, like, in the automatism of, because we do this or do that. Like me in the beginning of this call, I think it was in this automatism as like, maybe also this culture of identifying a problem and then finding a solution, which is also part of the ancient way of doing with permaculture. I would say like ancient or modern, I don't know the word, but whatever. But it's more like, okay, what opportunity is there to connect more? For example, I'm struggling with the money part in my life. And right now I came to to consider it as a possibility. Okay, I have this money topic that is burning. Then I'm gonna use that to get to know more. What is it beyond money? What is it that I can do with that? And also I realize I'm doing a simple experiment right now. For example, it could seem ridiculous in the way I'm struggling with money, But on the other side, it's not. It's like I'm giving thanks each time somebody gives me money, and each time I give money to someone, I'm telling my feelings. Like with anyone, like could be in a supermarket, if I go to a supermarket, which is very rare, but whatever, in the market town, or I'm doing that for now. And I don't know, 70% of the time it's joy. 70% of the time when I receive money, it's joy. And why did I cut myself from that feeling? Because I considered it's a piece of paper, and that I learned in my past when I was a kid that money was disgusting, or this, I don't know, this kind of thing. But no, it's not only a piece of paper. It has a connection. It honors something. When the purpose is clear, when I'm doing it with, like, I don't know, beautiful people came to the space today and gave me money for what I did, and it was just beautiful. And yeah, and I'm just sad, like, and yeah, really taking this money urge that I have in my life, which is a big fear, as a, okay, then there is a responsibility there. I'm gonna deepen what is there about money that my system freaks out. And yeah, and it's like, I don't know if it's a voice saying that criticism about, like, staying with the problem, which sounds a bit fancy also, but yeah, like taking that as an opportunity. This is how I deal with my fear. This fear of scarcity, of lacking money.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Yeah, thank you.
And I guess lately I've been starting writing a book that I've been waiting to write for so long. And yeah, a part of my gremlin doesn't want to spoil the name right now, and another part of me want to give you the name. And
what's their choice? Who
it's
are
just
you?
It's just to give you the name, because the name I've chose is Permaculture You. Like, then I keep the word permaculture, but I turn it as a verb, and to to give the inner permaculture, the permaculture from within. And I started writing that crazy. It was a Sunday. It was a gremlin feeding day, so I was enjoying my coffee and having a chocolate with sugar, and then for 6 hours I was like this, writing for 6 hours. I never saw that, never did that for years. I don't know. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing that. And I don't know where I'm going, and like,
What's the feeling?
what fear? Yeah.
Fear,
The
because
fear of, because like I've been reading in parallel one of the books of David Holmgren about permaculture, and I was still thinking that there is big thing missing there, which is like there are three ethics that we kind of talked about. like the caring for the earth, caring for you, the humans, and then caring for the money part, which is the exchanges. And the fourth one, that is the origins of the three, is caring for the reality. And it just scares me to go there, but for me it's like the missing ethic. And the other fear is like I'm trying to repair something, like I'm trying to repair permaculture. I don't know. It's like how can a human apply an ethic if he cannot connect to the reality? Like as a first statement, like
Can you please unpack that, Gabriel? What's the care for the reality?
Well, here's a possibility to go with yours, James. I get the sense when you speak about that, you're looking back at how the ethics were, how the ethics were presented, and treating them like a problem. And so the possibility is to look the other way and look forward with all this like all the beginnings behind you, and then go, okay, yeah, awesome, and now next, this way, next, this is the next one, the next ethic, and to breathe and to use that to breathe life into going forward. So can you unpack it in a way that goes forward?
Yeah. I think what one of the big things is that I'm going to different states as a human. I might be not the same person as I was 2 minutes before, and I'm certainly will not be the same person in 2 minutes. So it's like connecting to the question you asked, James, who I am, and am I daring to be in intimacy with myself, and how much? Or am I just copying someone? Like, I don't know, can you ask myself if I would copy David Holmgren, for example? But am I really daring to be who I am? And can I prove it? Like that, this is really you, that your friends, if you are asking your friends, they are telling you it's really you. It's not some kind of funny mask you put in, or I'm imagining myself, I don't know, in the future. And it freaks me out to, I think I have a lot of sadness when I share this, because it evokes the fragility of humans. I would say that a very narrow path to what we really are as humans. Like it's not I'm feeling fear that there's a lot of fantasy world in saying that with a lot of techniques and methods, then you can get there. Like you can really be connected to the earth forever. Looks like a fantasy world or amusement park, I would say.
If that's the fantasy world, what's reality?
Can you say it again? A different way, James? I don't get that.
So what I got was that your fantasy world that you described was that you can connect to the earth, and that's it. You're connected forever. What would be the reality?
yeah, there is one thing to do, and then it's like, and then that's good. I'm upgraded like a software, and that's okay. Then that's a stable state. There is no actual guarantee that I am totally clear and really, unless I have a team, like what we do, and besting each other's or kicking our asses gently, I would say, but boldly also. And the rest is just total fantasy world, total bullshit. Like it's, yeah, read a book and you know it. So I consider also writing a book is just a small attempt in the whole thing, and there is way much more to do actually. So
Yeah, what comes to me is this transition to experiential reality instead of this written or read reality.
yeah, yeah, hands in the dirt.
Mm.
Yeah, what comes for me is this, like you're saying that this thing about changing and process, and how when I was speaking earlier, I was mainly talking about humans creating, and also I'm realizing that everything creates, like even rocks and trees and rivers and birds and frogs and cats and dogs, and everything is creating, everything is doing something to its environment, bringing something into the world, and that you and me are changing all the time. I love that. What's that? A person never crosses the same river twice, right? Because the river the water has flowed, and the person is flowing, and everything is moving. And so, as creators, I think this is getting something closer to closer to reality. Is that what you're talking about, Gabrielle? Is this illusion or this fantasy world of stasis, of balance, of something being fixed, me being a fixed person relating to a fixed world, creating creating something that can then be fixed and known, and so in order to eradicate fear, basically. And it seems like reality is closer to everything is moving. Like I am moving and changing, you're all moving and changing, the what I'm standing on is moving and changing, and we're all just kind of spinning out of control, making what we can of it as we go. And that's like the ground we stand on. The ground I stand on is not really as solid as the story that I can make it to be. I mean, this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately. This myth, the myth of stasis, the myth of unchangeability, and how we have this saying, or I have this saying in my lexicon. What is it? Change is the only constant, and that, like everyone knows that change is the only constant, but really, we don't. I haven't let that in the past. And if I was to really live that I was to really weave that into the fabric of my reality, fuck, that would blow my world apart.
Yes, and there would only be now. That would be the only
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
And fear would be well alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing you were saying earlier, James, about the fear being the place of creation, and it's the place of a certain kind of creation. It's a place where the unique things can come out of the unknown territory of fear, and also I can create the same old shit as well, and the same old stuff, but just reheating like reheating a pie that I bought from the supermarket or something, you know, like someone else's well-trodden idea. So creating, like, you know, a new house gets built. It's a new house. It's never existed before, but it's been built out of the same old ideas. And there are another 1,000 houses that are very, very similar to it. Same, you know, footprint and what have you. So that it's still creating. Creation is still happening. Yet it's creating in the known, as opposed to what well, in the illusion of the known, because really it's not. Yeah. I feel like I'm tangling myself up now, but there's something in there.
Yeah, there's something about repeating, like this constant repeating. It's like, we got that piece of the puzzle. Oh, great, we'll keep repeating that piece, and then we end up with this monoculture, right? That's monoculture, whether it's building houses that look the same or growing the same crops over and over and over again. And what does that do? Like it stops the larger creation from manifesting. And everybody's afraid of what's new and what's different. And you know, our whole culture of regulation and compliance is all about, oh well, we know how this goes, so we do it this way, and we don't do this new thing because we don't know how that goes. And that's emotional fear at an institutional level that's stopping the potential creativity.
Yes, it's new, and we haven't done the studies about how it works. We haven't tested it. Yeah, it's so strong. This when you start letting it in, this like having this model and repeating it, like how that's the way it's supposed to go. It's so ingrained, and yeah, it's very sad. Sad about all the creativity or creation that has been lost in this, like this bulldozer of doing things the same way.
Loving the nothing is what is coming to me. Like, how can humans that have been learning so much to love the abundance, the profusion of material stuff, could love nothingness? Love actually that. I'm staying with a bit fear. Yeah, I'm still having a lot of fear. It's the roller coaster.
Your fear is welcome, Gabriel. Let it be here.
And I'm learning more and more to welcome my fears.
I welcome your fear.
There's still something about a deep simplicity into the connection, into what fears also brings as possibilities to connect. If I am afraid, then I need to relate, or it is important. Like the relating is primal. I cannot do anything than to connect. And yeah, and then the necessity is there. And then that's, I think also we were talking about the creation process. Like there was this old saying that the necessity is the mother of invention. And it's something like that. Like, okay, I have this big fear, then my words comes up with before I know what I'm saying, and I'm just starting to connect to people, and some crazy stuff happened. Like it happened today, without noticing. Like, how come I did share that? Like I shared that it was sad to a person because she gave me €3 for a workshop that I did today, and she looked at me, and I look at her, and she was so scared that she would have given me less money, you know, because it was like open price, like you sliding scale, you could give whatever you want. And I said, no, I feel sad. I feel sad, and I was in the fear, so I was like, because of this money I'm having in my hands. And I could see like she is like relief, like she thought I had adjustment, like because she gave me only €3. No, that was not that. I surprised myself like doing that, and I
Go. Mm.
and yeah, I'm still surprised by okay, talking from the feeling is really a revolution or an evolution. Like to really start for talking from the feelings is like so much interesting to actually wake up the necessities, like to oh, actually that was what was necessary and not what I thought it was. Like I had a super nice plan of meeting with those people in the forest, and then I'm sharing my sadness about receiving money. What am I doing there? It's like, yeah.
I propose you experiment with this, the statement, and say it over and over. I feel fear to connect with you because.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something coming with the story. When I thought about this woman that gave me the €3, because I had a story that
Try it now. Try it now here.
with you.
Connecting. Stay
Yeah.
connected and stay here now.
Yeah, something like, because I feel I feel fear because I feel fear to say things that are so big that it will overwhelm people. That's my fear. I feel fear to be in connection with you, James, in yeah, and all of you. So because I feel fear of overwhelming people, that they will go crazy, that oh, it's too much, or I feel fear of actually the power I have to touch people beyond what I can envision, because it's a huge responsibility and also a big fear.
So is your story that if I get overwhelmed by the things you share with me, then it's your problem. You're responsible for what's happening inside me.
Yeah, it's total. Yeah, here there's this total bullshit about saving you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not responsible for whatever you feel. I'm responsible for the vision I care for, or what I'm looking to transmit to what I'm, yeah.
So who are you then?
Also, I'm going to start with I feel fear. This is really what I'm feeling. I feel fear of being a mage, of being a wizard, a door opener, someone who, yeah, who is also a game world builder. I'm also afraid of that. I'm also afraid of my possibilities. It sounds pretty weird when I'm saying it right now, because what can I do? What else can I do than being myself?
Why would you want to do anything else? Why? This sounds fantastic. You're afraid of your creative abilities. Of course. Great. Like,
yeah.
Yay. Like, seriously.
Yay.
Stay there. Just stay there. Except you can't because you're always moving.
Yeah. That's exactly what we're talking about lately. Yeah. And at the same time, it feels really good to say that with you guys. Thank you for opening the door within me.
Good.
And whatever, I'm gonna write that book, whatever people think.
Yeah, go.
And
Yes.
just
Fuck yeah, go.
Yeah.
Permaculture, you. Just turning it into a verb. How dare you?
exactly.
Go.
Where's your qualifications to come up with a fourth ethic?
Yeah. Who gave you that permission?
Now I recognize I have those voices. Thank you for embodying them. Got that.
Good.
Anytime.
Beautiful note to complete on, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for holding the space for all of the learning this morning. Very glad.
Yeah, me too. It was an honor to defecate on my shitware again. and compost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, so we can have this shift since we're ending our night shift here in Europe. So we give the sun to you now to look after, as I've been saying in another space, which also is European, New Zealand mixed. Oh, there it is.
Wow.
The sun is here.
Beautiful.
Thank you, James.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Till
guys.
next time.
Thank you, Annika. Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you all.